Hello, am I audible? Can you hear me? Don't just listen to me. Please do think about what I'm trying to say as well. A very warm welcome to Be Aware Soul YouTube channel. Before we can get into today's content, I would like to share a video with you. Come on, let's see.
La 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 la. This looks like Didi's purse. Let me see what she has in it. Is anyone seeing? Slowly. Oh, she has a lot of money. I think I can take a little if no one is watching. I need to escape slowly. She shouldn't find out that I took it from her purse. A few moments later.
I know you have taken the money. Sneha, better tell the truth. Promise, I haven't taken it. I promise, I swear, I've not taken anything. I've not taken your money. Believe me, no. I'm not taken it.
This test will tell me whether you're telling the truth or not.
See, the results of lie detector test has come out. Now let me see whether you have told me the truth or you have lied to me. You've lied to me. You know that I have a lie detector test and you've lied to me itself. Never try to lie to me once again. I'm warning you. Okay, after seeing this video, what do you think? Have you ever wondered if lie detector test was so easy, then why couldn't big crimes be solved with this? Or why couldn't crime investigation become so much more easier than ever before? Have you ever wondered? Today we'll try going and exploring why we are not using this as a technique to solve crimes. So let us first look into what are the three tests that we are talking about and then the reasons, that is scientific reasons and legal reasons. Today the three tests I'm going to talk about are the first one is the polygraph test, the second one is the narcoanalytic test, and the third one is the brain electrical activation profile test. So let us first start with the polygraph test. I'll give you a simple example to give you an understanding of what a polygraph test is. Let us take an example of childhood or a teenager's life wherein a child or a teenager has done something wrong or is doing some mistake which a parent shouldn't find out and is scared that a parent shouldn't find out. Maybe the teenager is smoking and all of a sudden the parent finds out. So at that point, what is his reaction? His reaction is like he'll get scared. So his heart starts beating fast. He starts sweating, maybe even he'll shiver. And this is an indication of the fact that he's getting scared. So similarly, in polygraph tests, when they ask some questions, they notice what kind of changes happen in your body, that is the physiological changes, maybe related to your heartbeat or your respiration rate or the way you behave, and then they come to a conclusion whether you're telling the truth or you're lying. So this cannot be necessarily 100% true, because maybe when some question is asked to you, you're shocked or you're like surprised and you give the same kind of reaction when you're scared. Maybe your heart beats fast. They cannot easily differentiate between this and maybe you can be the prime suspect. So it cannot be 100% true always. The second one is the narcoanalysis test. So for this, the example would be, normally when you see in movies, when someone drinks a lot, they start blabbering whatever comes to their mouth, and sometimes these blabbers are true, but some not necessarily that every time they blabber it is the truth. Maybe they're just telling something that they are imagining, or they're in their dream world and telling something whatever they wish to tell. It is not necessary that it should be the truth. So when you talk about narcoanalytic tests, they give you a drug by name sodium pentanol. So what happens with sodium pentanol is you kind of become unconscious, that is you become like in a hypnotic state, and you cannot restrict yourself telling, okay, when you're conscious, what happens is sometimes you don't speak out. Even if you know the answer, you don't speak out. But when you are in this state, what happens is you cannot control or restrain yourself, rather you will try and speak out. So even in this test, it's not necessary that every time it's 100% truth, because maybe you're just trying to tell what you felt. For example, you feel someone called a person A has done the murder, you very badly think that is the truth. So when you are given the drug, you say yes, the person A murdered, but you have not seen it, you have not witnessed it. Because of your statement, maybe that person might be in jail, but that might not be the truth. That's the reason this is not opted. The third test, that is the brain electrical activation profile test. So when you talk about this test, let me give you an example of let me take an instance where I am talking about childhood or your school days. I'm giving you a story. At that time, obviously, everyone would have remembered maybe the infrastructure of your school or your friends or the last bench fun you had. Obviously, you'll keep remembering about it. So at that time, there is a stimulus in your brain, and there are different reactions that is happening in your brain. So it shows that you have come across the similar instance. So this is what this test does. So when they give you some situation, there are some stimulus, that is there are some the brain shows some similarities that you have gone through the same situation, but not necessary that it is exactly the same as what is narrated. For example, let us say a girl is going to be murdered. Before she gets murdered, she shouts, and there was a person called A who goes in search of where the noise is coming from. By the time the person A reaches the girl is murdered. He is aware of all the surroundings, he is aware of the girl. So if you talk anything related to this situation, obviously there will be a stimulus in your brain. Does that mean that you have killed the girl? No, right? So even this has some problems in it. So now we have seen the scientific problems. Let us see the legal problems. Today we'll be dealing with Article 20, Subclause 3 and Section 161 of the CRPC in detail. Did you get scared? I'm not going to do it in detail. I'm just going to give you a simple meaning or like a layman perspective of this. So the first thing that comes into mind when you talk about the legal perspective of these scientific techniques, it has a clash between the rules against self-incrimination. So when you talk about self-incrimination, what is self-incrimination? So it is telling that you are becoming a witness against yourself. You're forced to become a witness against yourself. So you're telling someone forced, like maybe a police tells you, you need to tell that you are the murderer. And then you get scared and you are like, yes, I am the murderer. So that is self-incrimination. And we have a fundamental right against self-incrimination. There are many situations where people are against self-incrimination because of two major reasons. One is that the factor of reliability, and other one is the voluntary statement that is given. So when normally when someone forces you, the reliability of the statement is unknown. So like maybe during the police investigation you are being forced. So you tell, yes, I am the murderer, but when you go to the court, you are like, no, I am not the murderer, they forced me to say. So there is no factor of reliability that yes, this might be the truth. So if by chance like they are forced to tell that yes, I am the murderer, and that person gets a wrong judgment and is put to jail, it is a wrong thing to happen, right? An innocent person is going to jail. This kind of thing should not happen, and that is the reason why we have laws against self-incrimination. And another thing is, it is voluntary in nature. When you talk about these scientific techniques and self-incrimination, the major reason these both clash is because there are requests for the involuntary test to happen upon the accused or the witness. So when it becomes involuntary, they are not giving it by their will, but someone is enforcing it on them, and it is against the self-incrimination law. This is one thing. Another thing you need to see is there is an intrusion of mental privacy. So every time everyone says, I need a private space. So when you say about private space outside, you also have something called mental privacy, that it should not be intruded by someone else. There might be many things that is in your mind that you don't want to tell it outside, and maybe that might lower your dignity, or you really don't want to tell it because someone might misuse it. So it is against your privacy, your mental privacy. For example, there's something deep in your mind that you really don't want to say, and if you're going to say that, it is going to lower your dignity, and the people around you are going to judge you, and as a result that is going to have an impact on yourself. So would you be in a position to tell okay to such kind of a situation? Or like when they intrude into yourself, does that mean will they only talk about things related to the case? They might ask me about general things wherein I might openly tell, without my conscious, I might openly tell some things which I really don't want to tell. So this is a kind of mental intrusion. When you talk about this is also against your right to dignity, according to the international human rights standards. And these are the reasons for why scientific techniques are not part of our criminal investigation. Every time you buy something or you're talking about something, you always see the merits and demerits of the thing, and only if there are a lot of merits as compared to the demerits, only then will you adopt to it. So in general, when you talk about the scientific techniques, there are merits but there are demerits as well, and that is the reason for why this is not taken as 100% like primary source of evidence, because you cannot 100% predict if this is the truth or not. So thank you, have a nice day.